Thank you, Jordan. I really like that movable base, too. You can really get comfortable and support your back with that. All right, now we have Kris Nielsen with Kris Nielsen Painting with us this morning. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
San Diego native, really great guy. And by the way, 10% off up to $500 on your next paint job. We'll give you this number again, but for now, 619-797-6603. We will give that again in just a few minutes. But for folks that don't know, tell us about your company.
Sure. Well, we are a San Diego-based company, locally owned and operated. I am a San Diego native, and I've been licensed for about 11 years. So just a little bit of info about us.
So we talk a lot about chuck in a truck. I mean, painting really applies to this because pretty much, and I'm not downplaying what you do, but in general, someone could go to a big box store, buy some cheap brushes and cheap paint, and all of a sudden they're a painter. So what makes a good paint job and what makes a good painter?
Yeah. Well, obviously, there's going to be two things. You're going to have the expertise, the know-how of the contractor, and then the equipment they're using. For example, right here, I mean, here you have a brush. This brush costs $1.50. This brush costs about $20. One of them can cut a nice clean line. One can't. I'll let you do the math. So you want to make sure that your contractor is capable and that he's using the right equipment. I could bring in sprayers and show you, complex details of lacquering and spraying custom finishes and stuff like that.
The right equipment for the job. I mean, it could be as simple as a brush, or it could be as complicated as a spray rig that you use, right?
Right, exactly.
So another part of painting that's really important, and I know you brought a little example here, but the prep work. Talk about that and what you do, how it's different than most other painters.
Sure. Well, the context of this show that we're talking about is going to be exterior painting. We do everything interior and exterior, but I'm going to use this as an example as some of the above and beyond the prep work that we do. Now, this product right here is designed to restore wood that has termite damage or dry rot damage, and this product right here is a 3-part system. Rather than just buying a typical patch and paint putty off the shelf anywhere, this product right here is a 3-part system. What I would do with the dry rot or the termite damage is cut out the dead wood, carve out all that cancerous wood, and then we're going to put a 2-part epoxy down to make everything hard so that putty has something to bite down onto.
So this isn't a temporary fix. This is actually, you're going to repair the wood.
Yeah.
And you're creating a bond so this doesn't fall out later on.
Exactly. And this is for, sometimes you don't need to replace your trim or your fascia because there's a little bit of damage. Now, some contractors might say, yep, we can't touch it, you got to replace it. Or they might just put a Band-Aid on it and slap some putty in it and put some paint on and take off. And you're good for, a couple months. But this system right here, brush in the 2-part epoxy, there's a 2-part putty, one's a catalyst. It dries hard. You can actually sand and shape it. I use it on ornate detail, like a Victorian style home in Point Loma or something like that. And we can restore your wood and paint it.
Can't you tell, Greg, just by talking with Kris, that the detail and the care and quality that goes into this?
Speaking of detail, so what should someone ask when they're interviewing painters? I know you do a thorough inspection of the home. What should somebody ask a painter so that they know they get a quality job?
Sure. I think the number one thing is that they need to make sure that painter is licensed and bonded. The above and beyond is if they're going to have workers on that job site, then they need to be carrying general liability and workers' comp insurance. This is to protect the customer and also the contractor. In case somebody falls, then that person's property can become liable.
And your home even.
Yeah, exactly, your home. So that's number one. You want to make sure safety's first and everything's covered. The second part of that would be making sure that they have knowledge of the products they're using and they're capable.
And a detailed contract, I would add.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, make sure that prep work is specified on the contract, how many coats are going down, itemizing things, what's the cost for the doors, what's the cost for the wood surfaces, stucco surfaces, etc. But making sure that they're capable of giving you the information that you need.
Okay, Kris, thank you very much. We've got a fan question for you.
Sure.
Is it more work to change the color of our house than to repaint in the same shade?
Theoretically, yes, it would be, because if I'm doing the same shade, I can get away with just doing one coat. I don't do that. If I'm going to do an exterior repaint, I do a minimum of 2 coats. That's to give you guys adequate protection.
Either 2 coats of paint or a primer coat in paint, right?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, but you definitely want to have at least 2 coats on exterior paint job, and you should be expecting 10 plus years out of it. I don't sensationalize it and tell you it'll last forever.
Right.
However, I do use products that offer a lifetime guarantee against flaking and peeling.
All right, Kris, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You can call him at 619-797-6603. That's 619-797-6603. 10% off up to $500 on your next paint job. Pick up that phone and call him. You can see the quality that goes into this. And now we have Jordan at Contract Carpet.